We met because of your father. That's his helmet right there.
Yes, it is.
And I want to ask you, what is it like? I know, me and you have had conversations, but what is it like growing up with a father that people just clamor over, a celebrity, a two-time All-Pro, a legend?
So we went to church and the pastor was really just speaking to me. Like
Hitting
I
home,
knew,
huh?
yes, I'm like, it was one of those sermons where you were like, is he talking to me? Like I really thought he was talking to me.
We're going to talk about what's next. So I'm going to reach behind my back. Welcome to the next edition of Conversations with Brent. You know, I tried to get my wife to do the show, my daughter, but they're so shy. But I got my other daughter, and she is not shy. She's awesome. Her name is Jakai Spikes. Hi, Mama.
Hi, thank you for having me. I'm honestly so excited to be here.
I'm
really
glad. I'm excited.
Thank you.
So, Jakai Spikes, who is Jakai Spikes?
I mean, I'm still finding out really who I am every single day. I feel like I kind of learn a little bit more about myself every single day, but who I am to my core, I'm a family girl. I love being around my family.
Mm-hmm.
I love fashion.
You look fabulous, by the way.
Thank you. And yeah, I love hanging out with my friends. I love having fun. So yeah, I mean, that's really who I am.
Okay. I would say, how long would you say we've known each other? Or I've known you?
I don't even know how long it's been. I remember literally you used to have to help board me on the plane because I was so little. How old was I? I was still watching Hello Kitty.
I think when we first started traveling, you might have been like 3 or 4.
Yeah, that's crazy.
So it's been a long time.
Yeah, but I remember, I literally remember those memories so clear in my mind. Like I remember us sitting like on the plane,
right,
handing me whatever to watch Hello Kitty. Like I remember that. It was always fun traveling with you.
Well, thank you. It was fun.
Yeah.
It was only one time, and it was nothing you did. We were coming back from Buffalo, and it was a late flight. And when we got to Atlanta's airport, the train wasn't working. There was no air conditioning in the airport, and we had to walk from like Seagate all the way to baggage claim.
Were you carrying me?
I was carrying you in one hand. I had the car seat in another, and I was dragging lining your suitcase. So
that's crazy. But that shows what type of man Brent is.
Well, thank you.
Seriously.
So one thing we've had conversations about is we met because of your father. That's his helmet right there.
Yes, it is.
And I want to ask you, what is it like? I know, me and you have had conversations, but what is it like growing up with a father that people just clamor over, a celebrity, a two-time All-Pro, a legend? What's it like having that person as your father?
Well, when I look at my dad, I don't look at what the world sees. I look at what I see. The person who he presents himself to me, like that's my dad. Like
right.
I don't see what he shows on the field. Like I see him as a person. So I mean, it used to bother me when I was younger because I was super like jealous of my dad. I wanted him all to myself. And like we would be in restaurants and like people would always come up to him and be like, can we take a picture? Can we take a picture? And I'm like, I just want to be with him. Like
right.
It can be annoying, but once I got older, I began to appreciate it because it's like when other people who don't even know you appreciate your work so much, like there's just something like glorifying about that. Like somebody walking up to you like, I really appreciate you. So, I mean, I'm proud of him and all that he's accomplished. Like,
yeah.
So, yeah.
So with that, how has it inspired you to reach your level of greatness? Because, you know, we know he's an Auburn legend, a Washington County legend, and like I said, 15-year pro. But as your dad and watching his body of work, how has it inspired you to find your lane and your path?
I will say that my dad wakes up every morning with a purpose already in his mind, like why he woke up that morning, what he has to do. It honestly took me a while to really find out what my passion was,
Okay.
really to even be touched or inspired in a way, just
Right.
because, I mean, I wasn't really focused on that. But as I got older and as I really started to mature in a way, I started to study him and what he did, and what he does, and all the hard work that he puts in.
Right.
So I mean, that has inspired me to now work hard, find my purpose, and
You know, one thing used to, I won't say it bothered me, but sometimes he wouldn't let you be a girl. He would always tell you, man up, war dog. And he wouldn't let you have those feelings. But I think it helped, I know it does. It helps you become who you are. Because you still have that sensitive, compassionate side, but you also have that tenacious side where you're not going to be denied. And I think that comes from him as well. And your mom has her own lane. She does her thing. What do you feel like you've gotten from her that has helped you to become who you are?
My mom is really a resemblance of who I am, like to my core. Like, my spirituality is like number one in my life. She was actually the person who introduced me to that. Like, really, and just like when it comes to how I'm kind and my attitude, how I know what I want.
Right.
She is an example for me as a woman who I want to be when I grow up. So like everything that she really is, she's poured into me. So like, yeah.
And so I remember a story not too long ago. We were having a conversation, like we always do, and you talked about a time where your dad did something that really touched you spiritually. You remember what that was?
What was it?
When he went to the altar with you?
Oh, yes.
You wanted to share that a little bit, or?
Yeah, so I was actually, during this time, I was feeling super down.
Okay.
Just not, you know, like when you're in a phase in your life and you just feel like I've done everything that I can, or maybe you haven't, you just can't really get up in the mornings, like you're not really feeling like yourself. So we went to church and the pastor was really just speaking to me. Like I knew, yes, I'm like, it was one of those sermons where you were like, is he talking to me? Like I really thought he was talking to me.
Right.
And he was just like, you know, if you've ever felt broken, like if you're feeling broken right now, whatever, stand up, go, like come to the altar. And I've always wanted to go since I was a little girl, but I was always really scared. But I mean, it was really God that came through me that day. I just stood up and then I just began walking down. I asked him, I was like, can you come down with me? And he came down with me. So yeah, it was really good. But I really noticed after that experience that just as bad as I needed it, he needed it as well.
Oh, definitely.
So I feel like that definitely really, I don't know, it proved me that I'm already equipped with everything in me to be bold, to succeed, to step out in the world. So yeah, I felt really good. Like that was like one of the best days for me. Like it was awesome.
And I think sometimes we as men underestimate the importance and the value we play in our daughters' lives, but also the value you bring to our lives. And there was a time we were coming back from tutoring, and I can't remember what the conversation was, but you said something, and it made me chuckle, but it resonated with me. And we were talking about something, and I said, well, it's not like you're my daughter. Do you remember what you told me?
I was like, you are my? I was like, I basically am.
Yeah, you said I kind of belong to you.
Yeah.
And that made me feel good. But I know our relationship. We talk a lot, and you know, you're very supportive of anything I do. So thank you for being on the show. But that meant a lot to me because who your father is, so many people try to, for lack of a better word, kiss up to you to get close to him.
Mm-hmm.
And they want to seem like y'all best friends and y'all just have these deep, intimate conversations. And you've always seen through that.
Mm-hmm.
It's been times we'll be sitting and you'll look, somebody talking to you, right? And then you'll just start laughing.
Right.
And they don't know what we're laughing at, but we get it.
Right.
And so for you to say that, it made me feel special.
Mm-hmm.
But I do look at you as my daughter.
Mm-hmm.
I think you're an amazing young lady. Mm-hmm. I think God has some wonderful things in store for you. And I'm excited to see what's going to take place in your life. You know, I remember when you were younger, you did your own talk show. Now I'm trying to be like you doing a talk show.
Oh, yes. Remember in my office, I would have up my computer and be like, hey guys. Like, yes. I would act like.
And it was very good. So, we're going to talk about what's next. So, I'm going to reach behind my back and...
Woo, woo, woo. War Eagle.
What's that mean to you?
Auburn, I mean, if you would have asked me 2 years ago, I would have said nothing. But this year, it really changed for me when I visited the school. Again, it was God again. He knows everything. But like, as soon as I walked on campus, I just felt this presence like I was home. Everyone treated me, it didn't even matter that my dad is an alumni there, because the people literally, they treat you like you are their number one priority. And then there's a major there called Global Studies that I fell in love with, that they only offer at Auburn. Oh, wow. So it really was like, I really see myself here, and I feel comfortable, I feel loved, I feel at home here.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
And my wife always says, you know when you're home, or you know where you're supposed to be, because it just feels right.
Yeah, and I was also, but even after I visited, and even when it looked like I wasn't gonna get, I wasn't really gonna pick the school to go, I would just pray about it, and I would receive like vivid dreams of like me walking on campus, or me writing notes inside of class, or me, so it was really something that was bigger than me.
So let me ask you this. Since you mentioned how strong faith is, I do a series called Men of Faith, but we're gonna call it Jakai and Faith. Mm-hmm. What is a time where you really had to rely on God to see you through something?
I would say through heartbreak. Okay. Definitely. Because that's been like the number one thing I think I've struggled with during my youth is heartbreak. Right. And it's just, if anybody knows, heartbreak literally feels like your heart is being torn out of your chest. And especially for girls, just because we take it so much harder. But I just remember just writing in my journal every single time if I was just feeling lost, or if I was just feeling like I'm not myself, or I don't feel like I have a purpose here anymore, like just depending on him to lift me up, depending on him so that I can walk, so I can run, like so I can keep my head up, so I can not have to fill my void with anything unhealthy, So it's still a work in progress. Definitely. It's a work in progress, putting 100% like, all right, faith. It is hard, but when he brings you out of something, it's like your testimony. It's like, all right, like I know he'll do it again. So I think our relationship is building in that way, of me getting to know him more on a personal level, and him showing me like, I got you. So it's more so of that with me. I feel like, that's it.
And I think that's why those that know you are so excited about this next phase of your life. Because, I had a guest on, Maury, my cousin, we talked about the community we grew up in and how it takes a village to raise a person. You've had a village to raise you, from your dad, your auntie Lisa, Mom Pearl, and just other people that genuinely care about you. And I think for all of us, we're excited because, as you stated a little bit earlier, you've been given everything you need to be successful. And I am so excited for this next journey of your life. I see just wonderful things. You've always been amazing. You've always had such a presence about you. And it's almost awe-inspiring to think about what's next for you.
Thank you.
So
sometimes I get, I don't know, unsure.
Mhm.
I just feel like I don't really know what I'm doing. Like some days you wake up and you're like, what am I even doing? Or where am I even going? Like,
that's me too.
so, I mean, it's hard, but it's great, as you said, to have like people that you can lean on, like people who you can talk to. Like, I remember even like in my worst days, like you wouldn't even know that those were my worst days, that you would take me to tutoring,
Right.
and we would just have like a 10-minute conversation to tutoring, and that would change my whole mood. So it's like just having people that you can rely on that are strong enough and that are wise enough to see what's in you and what you're capable of, I think, and to speak life into you.
Right.
I think that's super important. And I try to, I do that to like my friends and stuff like that. Like if they come to me with a problem, I speak life into them. Like I don't speak defeat, I
Right.
don't speak worry, I speak life, because that's just it. Like that's the only thing that it is. So, but that's always what you've done to me, and that's always what select individuals in my life have done. So that's really what has helped me keep going.
And it's good because we have to pay it forward. So many times people will want to get close to you, like we said, to get close to your dad, or because of your mom's certain jobs, they want to get close to get benefits from her position. And it's never about what you can get from somebody, it's what you can give to somebody. You know, if we follow that Christian principle, or the principle of Christ, is to be a servant first, because you can't lead if you've never followed.
Right.
And so because you have such a servant's heart and you are doing it for the right reason, amazing things are coming your way. And it's going to be exciting for you to get on campus and to be able to sprout your wings. My daughter hates this statement, like I hated this statement, but my mother used to tell me this: little birdie, when you sprout wings, you too may fly. And she used to tell me that all the time because my older siblings were doing stuff, and I would always feel like I couldn't.
Right.
But little birdie, it's about time for you to sprout your wings and fly. So take flight.
Yeah.
As we get ready to close out, is there anything you want to share? Anything you want to ask me? Anything you want them to know as we close out this segment?
I guess just saying thank you to you for having me on this podcast. I'm extremely grateful because, again, just like I texted you, this is really helping me because I love to sit inside the camera and to just like talk. So,
well, the camera loves you, so.
Yeah, thanks. But
so,
yeah, I'm excited.
How can people follow you so they can see what you're up to?
Okay, you can follow me on Instagram at Jakai Spikes. And then you can also follow my fashion Instagram page at Uniquely Hot. So, yeah.
So you have a fashion? So you have two. You have your personal?
Yes, I have my personal page and then I have a fashion page.
Okay, so what's the fashion?
So the fashion, like the name?
What are you doing and what?
Okay, so the fashion is more so I love to just dress up. I love to be creative and put different pieces together. I also love to admire those that came before me who like killed the fashion game. So I'm posting a lot of my inspirations on there. Sometimes I post like stuff of me writing and stuff like that. So yeah.
So have you designed any pieces yet, or you still just in that discovery phase, finding out what you like? And
I want to design, like I want a part of my career to be designing and fashion and stuff like that. But I haven't started sketching. I haven't started any of that stuff.
So right now you're taking it in. You're just you have a passion for fashion, as they say, and so you're just learning.
Yeah, and like on Pinterest, I have like so many different boards of like different styles that I like. So I mean, the next step when I get there is just being able to visualize and being able to draw it on a piece of paper and make up like what type of pieces I want to see, if that makes sense. Because I mean, it's hard, like, because you don't just like want to like draw like a top on, like you want it to be different, you want it to be something that nobody has ever seen before, something, you know. So I mean, it's just a lot of pressure, just because with fashion I want it to look exactly how I envision it in my head. So I mean, it's gonna take time, but yeah.
And one thing I would say is, be yourself. Everyone else is taken. That's one of my favorite sayings. So whatever you come up with, just create it, because there's always a change in fashion. As you know, fashion changes constantly, and you never know when that one design you put may be the one that everybody's wearing that spring or that fall. And just go for it. Only thing I want you to do is just keep being you and take all boundaries off. Don't let anybody tell you what you can or cannot do. You have God within you. You have a supporting father, a supporting mother that encourages you. And we've talked about this before about family, and we said, you know, God's purpose had nothing to do with your mother and father's passion and you being here. God put you in earth at this time for a reason. So go forth, do everything that God purposed in your heart, and you will be fulfilled. So I want to thank you for being my first female guest.
Thank you for allowing me to sit here.
I'm so excited.
I'm excited for this as well. I'm really excited. So thank you so much.
Thank you. So this has been Conversations with Brent with Jakai Spikes. Instagrams again, please, ma'am.
Instagram, Jakai Spikes, and my fashion page at Uniquely Hot.
There you have it. We will see you on the next edition of Conversations with Brent.
Bye.